Have you ever felt like certain people in your life were draining your energy or just not good for your well-being, but you weren't sure why? You may be picking up subtle hints from the universe telling you it's time to remove toxic individuals from your life. In this video, we'll uncover 11 important signs the universe gives us when it's time to walk away from people who are negatively impacting our happiness and sanity. Whether it's constant drama, one-sided friendship, or feeling unheard and misunderstood, being around people who diminish your spirit can take a serious toll if ignored long-term. We'll discuss signs like lack of support, the way interactions make you feel, trust issues, and more. Recognizing these signs early is key to preventing burnout and protecting your peace of mind. So let's get started uncovering the clues the universe gives us about who to keep in our lives and who needs to be let go for our highest good. I hope these signs give you more clarity and courage to remove anything holding you back from thriving. Before watching this video, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. This is very important to us. Number 1. Unexplained discomfort and anxiety. Our intuition is a gift that helps protect us from potential harm. Even if our logical mind can't fully explain it, our body senses negative vibrations or energies from others that could negatively impact our well-being. When you feel a sense of inner unease, unrest, or worry in the presence of specific individuals, even though nothing outwardly seems wrong, it's often your intuition trying to alert you. The body stores memories and has its own wisdom below our conscious thoughts. It picks up on subtle cues, like vocal tone, facial expressions, pheromones, micro-expressions, and more. This triggers involuntary physiological responses, even when our thinking mind isn't aware of what exactly is amiss. So you may feel tense muscles, an increased heart rate, sweating, or stomach butterflies around certain acquaintances or friends for reasons you can't immediately identify or rationalize. Pay attention to this uneasy, on-edge sensation because it's likely a sign that being around those people drains your energy or threatens your peace of mind in some way. Perhaps there are hidden toxic attitudes, jealousy, dishonesty, or passive aggression present that your subconscious perceptions are alerting you to before they manifest into overt conflict. The discomfort is your inner alarm system going off as a warning that this is not a completely safe or balanced dynamic for your well-being. Rather than ignoring or dismissing nerves as all in your head, respect what your body and intuition are trying to communicate. See if distancing yourself gives you a sense of relief. You may find that as you create more space, the anxious physical symptoms fade, and your mood lifts when you're no longer in those stressful interactions that weigh you down over time. Listen to your gut feelings, as they are often wiser than our rational thoughts alone and exist to protect our highest good. Number 2. Feeling drained and depleted. When you spend time with some individuals, you may walk away feeling tired, empty, and bereft of your normal enthusiasm and liveliness. It's as if a part of your spark and vitality has been sapped right out of you. Your body may even feel heavy and lethargic, or your mind could feel muddled and unclear. This experience of coming away depleted is a clear sign that these people are drawing excessive amounts of energy from you without giving much back in return. Being around energy vampires can cause you to burn through your reserves much faster than usual. Everyone exchanges social energy in conversations and relationships to some degree, but a balanced exchange leaves both parties feeling uplifted and energized by the interaction. Energy vampires disrupt this natural balance by taking significantly more than they give. They draw you into heavy or demanding topics that require your emotional labor, but do little to support or uplift you in turn. Some signs that an interaction has left you drained include feeling overly sensitive in your body after the conversation, becoming irritable more easily, or having trouble focusing or thinking clearly for a while. Your emotions may also feel raw, overwhelmed, or unstable. On a physical level, you notice more fatigue, muscle tension, appetite changes, or difficulty unwinding and relaxing your body afterwards. It's as if the person has siphoned your mental, emotional, and physical reserves without replenishing any back into you. Like a vampire drawing blood, They have taken what they needed from you without care for how it impacts your well-being. With energy vampires, the focus is only on extracting to meet their own needs, not maintaining balance or mutual understanding in the exchange. It's important to recognize when this type of interaction is leaving you drained rather than energized or uplifted. A balanced relationship enhances both people and leaves them feeling better connected, while an energy vampire will deplete you over time if no boundaries are set. Pay attention to how your mind and body feel immediately after spending time with certain individuals. If you regularly experience depletion, it's a sign you need to establish limits or distance with that person to protect your precious life force energy. You only have so much to give, so choose relationships wisely. Number 3, lack of respect and boundaries. One of the most important things in any relationship is respect. You deserve to feel respected, valued, and cared for by the people in your life. Unfortunately, some people just do not respect appropriate boundaries. If someone consistently disregards your limits, ignores your requests, or invades your personal space without consent, it shows they do not truly care about your comfort, needs, or well-being. They see your boundaries simply as obstacles to overcome, rather than something important to honor. It could be small things like barging into your room or office without knocking, going through your personal belongings without permission, or interrupting you when you've made it clear you don't want to be disturbed. Or it could be bigger things like touching you in ways that make you uncomfortable after you've said no to physical contact, sharing private information about you with others against your wishes, or constantly criticizing choices that are important to you. Whatever the behaviors, when boundaries are not respected, it diminishes your sense of security, privacy, and self-worth. You start to feel like you have no control or say in your own life. It sends the message that the other person does not truly value you as an independent person with thoughts, feelings, and preferences that deserve acknowledgement and respect. Over time, consistent disrespect and boundary violations can cause feelings of disrespect, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. It takes a toll on your mental well-being. No one should have to endure feeling disrespected, demeaned, or less than in their own relationships. People who constantly push past your limits are showing clearly through their actions that they see themselves as more important than your comfort, needs, or consent. A relationship where boundaries are not respected is unhealthy and in many cases toxic. It is a sign that it may be best to remove yourself from that situation and surround yourself with people who treat you and your boundaries with care, consideration, and respect. Your well-being and happiness should never depend on tolerating disrespect. In healthy relationships, both people's boundaries are respected. Neither feels afraid or uncomfortable asserting their limits, because doing so will not result in punishment or further violation. Both individuals value each other. That is the type of caring relationship that truly enriches our lives. Number 4, manipulation and control. One of the biggest signs that someone is toxic and you need to walk away is when they try to manipulate or control you. Manipulative people do not have your best interests at heart. Their primary goal is getting what they want from you, without consideration for your own thoughts and feelings. They will try various tricks and tactics to get you to act and think the way they want. Common manipulation strategies include guilt trips, threats, blame, gaslighting, and lying. Their goal is to make you second-guess yourself and your own judgment, so you defer to them instead. Over time, this constant manipulation can seriously damage your self-esteem and mental well-being. Controlling people also want to dictate how you behave, what you do, who you see, and how you feel. They want to be able to predict and plan your every action. You start to feel like you are constantly walking on eggshells, worrying about upsetting or disappointing them. No matter what choice you make, it feels like it is never quite right to them. They find ways to criticize you and put you down to assert their dominance. Living under the control or manipulation of someone else is mentally and emotionally exhausting. It prevents you from being your true, authentic self. You start losing your own identity and sense of independence. Your needs and wants become secondary to keeping them happy. Over time, the manipulation and control can severely diminish your self-worth, as you are no longer sure what you want or think without their influence. It takes a massive psychological and emotional toll to constantly second-guess or justify your decisions and feelings. Your stress and anxiety levels remain elevated, trying to preemptively avoid triggering their disapproval or anger. No one deserves to have their mental well-being destroyed in this way. The best solution when faced with controlling or manipulative people is to remove yourself completely from their toxicity. It is difficult to do, but staying allows the abuse to continue damaging you long-term. By walking away, you take back control over your own life and decisions. You can start the healing process of rebuilding your self-esteem and rediscovering who you are independently of that influence. Going no contact is often the healthiest choice when someone has destroyed your sense of self through manipulation and domination. You deserve to feel empowered and free within your own life. Number 5. Lack of trust and honesty. One of the most important things in any relationship is trust. Without trust, a relationship simply cannot survive long-term. Trust is built over time through honesty, keeping promises, and being consistent in our words and actions. When someone consistently breaks your trust or is dishonest with you, it creates a feeling of uncertainty, unease, and insecurity in the relationship. If you feel like you can never truly know what the full truth is from the other person, or that they will always bend or break the truth to suit their needs in the moment, it leaves you constantly second-guessing them and the relationship. No one wants to be in a relationship where they feel they can't believe anything their partner says. It's an exhausting and unstable way to interact with someone. When trust is broken through lies or unkept promises, it damages the very foundation of the relationship. It shows that the other person does not have your best interests at heart and is not fully committed to honesty and transparency. Over time, this consistent lack of truth and follow-through really starts to take a psychological toll. You may find yourself doubting more and more of what they say. It fosters resentment as their dishonest actions show they don't truly respect or value you. Without honesty and integrity as the basis for how two people interact and treat one another, the emotional safety and security starts to vanish from the relationship. Your partner is supposed to be someone you feel safe being open and vulnerable with, but when their word cannot be relied upon, you are constantly on guard and cannot let down your defenses. This prevents true intimacy from developing. Furthermore, when trust is broken, it takes immense time, effort, and consistent accountability to rebuild. One or two kind acts do not undo long-term damage to trust caused by lies or unmet promises. If the person is not willing to do the work to regain trust through changed behaviors over time, it is better to remove yourself from that toxic dynamic and invest your energy elsewhere, with people who will be honest and reliable partners to you. Overall, without trust as the foundation, any relationship is severely weakened and will likely not flourish in a healthy way. Number 6. Negative and toxic energy. Negative and toxic individuals tend to see the worst in every situation. They are frequently complaining, blaming others for problems, expressing criticism, and spreading resentment. Being around people with such a gloom and doom outlook on life can gradually undermine your own optimism and joy. Toxic people will vent their frustrations to you and try to pull you into their negative mindset. They view the world through a lens of scarcity and fear rather than possibility and hope. Spending time with constantly critical or pessimistic people can get you thinking the same way over time if you're not careful. Their demeanor is contagious. As human beings, we instinctively mirror the emotions of those around us. Negative talk dumps stress hormones into our bodies, which leads to feelings of anxiety, worry, and depression. Toxic people may also try to drag you into unnecessary drama by oversharing intimate details to make you take their side in conflicts. Gossiping and putting others down are also common toxic behaviors that can eat away at your self-esteem. When around negative individuals, you may feel emotionally drained, overwhelmed, and even resentful yourself. Their poor attitudes will negatively color your interactions as you pick up on subtle and not so subtle cues about how they view different people and circumstances. It becomes a mental strain, always having to counteract perceived insults and criticism. You start worrying what negative thing they'll say next. This mental exhaustion makes it tougher to stay upbeat and optimistic in your own life. Prolonged exposure to toxic energy can undermine your self-confidence by making small problems feel insurmountable and success feel out of reach. Their cynical worldview becomes hard to escape if you don't remove yourself from the situation. It's easy to believe their narrative that the world is bleak if you're constantly surrounded by toxic energy. But in reality, breaking away can allow your inner light to shine again without that negativity dimming your spirit. Removing toxicity from your routine is key for protecting your mental well-being and staying positive. Number 7. Feeling used and taken advantage of. One of the clearest signs that you need to walk away from certain people is when you feel consistently used and taken advantage of without much care for your own needs, resources, or well-being. A relationship is supposed to be a two-way street, with both people supporting each other in times of need. However, when one person is doing most of the giving and the other is doing little to no reciprocation, it creates an imbalance that can leave you mentally and emotionally drained. Healthy relationships involve both parties mutually giving to each other when they can, whether that's offering help, listening without judgment, sharing what they have, or making each other feel cared for through quality time and affection. However, when you feel as though you are the one always offering help, listening to problems, lending money, sharing your possessions, or prioritizing the other person without much support in return, it indicates an imbalance. Over time, this imbalance can gradually erode at your self-esteem and sense of worth. You may start to feel like you are only valued for what you can provide, rather than for who you are as a whole person. In these types of relationships where someone consistently takes without giving back, it often means that person does not truly care about your needs, limitations, or well-being. A considerate partner who cares about your happiness will try their best to avoid overburdening or taking advantage of your kindness. They understand that relationships require effort from both sides. But when someone seems to only think of themselves and what they can gain from you without regard for any sacrifices or impacts on your end, it is a clear sign they do not value you as much as you value them. Feelings of being used will typically build up over time through little things, like not being thanked for favors, not having gestures reciprocated, financial or personal favors not being repaid, or your opinions and needs seeming less important. It can leave you constantly wondering what, if anything, you'll get back in return for what you offer. A caring partner will try to maintain fairness and will want to see you happy as much as themselves. But those who use others for personal gain tend to be self-centered and may not consider your feelings at all. In summary, feeling consistently used, underappreciated, and as though the other person does not truly care about your well-being or reciprocating what you offer is a major red flag in any relationship. It signifies an imbalance that will likely lead to resentment if nothing changes. For your own mental health and happiness, it may be best to remove yourself from relationships where you feel like a doormat being taken advantage of rather than a valued partner. You deserve to have your caring nature reciprocated and to feel truly cared for by those you spend your time and energy on. Number 8. Lack of growth and stagnation. Each person's life journey is meant to be one of constant learning, expanding our knowledge and abilities, and progressing towards our fullest potential. However, this process of growth can be seriously hindered or even stopped altogether if we have relationships in our life with individuals who discourage and hold us back from advancement. Spending significant time with people who do not support our dreams or believe we are capable of more will gradually undermine our self-confidence and erode our sense of hope for the future. When we are constantly facing criticism, doubt, or dismissal of our goals and talents from certain friends or family, it begins to chip away at our inner strength and determination to keep striving forward. Their negative words and lack of encouragement will penetrate our mentality if we allow it. On the other hand, surrounding ourselves with those who celebrate our wins, big or small, motivate us to learn new skills, and believe wholeheartedly in our capacity to achieve great things is absolutely vital for ongoing personal evolution. A supportive network strengthens our spirit and reminds us of our potential when we may start to doubt ourselves. They want to see us growing into the best version of who we are meant to become. If there are relationships in your life where the other person seems invested in keeping you small and confined, perhaps due to jealousy or their own insecurities, this can severely hamper your growth process. You may feel emotionally drained after interacting with them and lacking the energy to pursue new opportunities or challenges. Over time, it becomes easier to just accept stagnation than to struggle against their disapproval of any progress. But true progress is a struggle worth having, and no one should have the power to keep another person from it. Walking away from those who hinder and discourage development allows space for positive relationships to take their place. Ones that encourage exploration of your gifts and marching boldly towards your highest calling with support, not condemnation. This type of environment is essential for spiritual, mental, and personal evolution to keep unfolding as it should. Hope this detailed explanation provides a clear picture of how important it is to recognize lack of growth and stagnation in relationships as a sign it is time to initiate some positive change and walking away from that which no longer serves your highest good. Number 9. Feeling misaligned and out of sync. When you interact with certain people, you may feel like you have to almost put on an act or pretend to be someone you're not in order to fit in or get along. You feel like you can't truly be your authentic self. You don't feel comfortable enough to share your real thoughts, opinions, or feelings. You have to censor yourself or hold back important parts of who you are. This feeling of inauthenticity can be very draining. You start to lose touch with your true values, priorities, and sense of identity. You question your own judgments and intuitions. Over time, it takes a toll on your self-esteem and mental health. You begin doubting yourself and second-guessing your instincts. It creates an internal divide that leaves you feeling out of sorts and unsteady. Relationships are supposed to be a place where you feel seen, accepted, and free to express your whole self without facing criticism or disapproval. But when a relationship doesn't allow that level of authenticity, it's unbalanced and unhealthy. You end up wearing a mask and putting on an act just to avoid conflict or feel included. But hiding your true thoughts and emotions breeds resentment. It also means the people closest to you don't get to know and understand the real you. When you're always having to self-censor, you lose touch with an important part of who you are on the inside. Over time, this internal misalignment between your outer presentation and inner truth can seriously erode your self-confidence. You start to question what you believe and value, since you're not living consistently with your authentic self. It creates cognitive dissonance that leaves you feeling insecure and ill at ease. In healthy relationships, you should feel a sense of completeness, not like you're divided or having to perform fake versions of yourself. You want to be in community with people who see and accept you for who you genuinely are, the good, the bad, and the imperfect. When a relationship consistently leaves you feeling like you have to be someone you're not to keep the peace or fit in, it's time to reconsider how much you invest in that relationship and whether it's serving your well-being and growth as a person. Number 10. Intuition and inner knowing. Our intuition is a gift that allows us to sense what is right for our well-being even when the mind may not fully understand. The gut or inner feeling comes from a place of wisdom within us that can perceive truths beyond what is obvious on the surface. When it comes to relationships, this inner compass is especially valuable for guiding us in determining who lifts us up and who drags us down. We all have people in our lives that may cause us stress in some way, but with some the effects go deeper, making us feel constantly on edge, insecure, or drained of energy. Our intuition senses the imbalance in these relationships and will try to send us signals that something is not in alignment. Many people experience physical sensations in the stomach like butterflies or knots when around certain individuals. Our minds may make excuses for behaviors, but the body does not lie. These types of gut reactions are our intuition expressing concern for our wellness. Rather than ignore intuitions, it is best to pause and ask within for clarity. Our feelings may try to speak to us through subtle mood changes, repeating thoughts, or unusual dreams about those people after interactions with them. By tuning inward during quiet reflect times, the reason for discord could become evident. Often it relates to them projecting their own issues, disrespecting boundaries, inducing low self-esteem, causing drama, or being toxic in some way. This reveals an energy imbalance that is not conducive to our growth. When strong intuitive nudges continue over time, we must trust they are guiding us to remove ourselves for self-care. Others may not understand or support the decision if they cannot see the full dynamic from within our experience. But our inner wisdom looks out for our well-being, even if the mind cannot yet explain it fully. With patience and courage, creating space provides opportunity for clarification to arise so the next right steps are clear. Having faith in our inner compass allows it to become an even better guide for discerning who to keep invested in our lives and journey. In the end, prioritizing our intuition protects our peace and empowers us to honor what truly serves. Sometimes letting go is not a rejection, but rather an act of self-love as we make room for healthier bonds. With practice, we can learn to consistently follow our inner guidance for navigating relationships in a way that nourishes both our spirits. Trusting this inner process takes us where we need to go. Number 11. Lack of genuine connection and support. One of the most important signs that the universe is telling you to walk away from certain people is the lack of a genuine connection and feeling of support from them, even if they are supposedly close to you. A truly healthy and fulfilling relationship is based on being able to connect with someone on a deep, emotional level and feeling like you can rely on them when you are in need of support. When there is a lack of genuine connection, it means you don't feel truly seen, understood or heard by that person. They may not make an effort to understand your feelings, thoughts, and experiences. Shared moments feel superficial rather than intimate. On a subtle level, you may feel like you have to put on a mask or hide parts of yourself around them. True closeness requires vulnerability, which is missing. Similarly, the lack of genuine support shows itself when you don't feel you can turn to that person during difficult times for a compassionate ear or helping hand. Even small acts of caring feel lacking or disingenuous. They may not follow through on offers of assistance or counsel. When challenges arise, you are left feeling alone rather than comforted by their presence. Real support means being there for each other through both good and bad times. Over time, these deficits in connection and support take a toll on your well-being. You start to feel emotionally or mentally drained after interactions with them, rather than recharged. Small slights or neglects weigh on you more heavily. Meanwhile, your own needs for empathy, validation, and aid go unmet. A healthy relationship is one where both people uplift each other and make each other feel seen, heard, and cared for. If you have assessed the relationship thoughtfully over a period and still feel this void, it is often best to remove yourself from interacting with that person regularly in order to safeguard your emotional health and happiness. Otherwise, you risk continually investing your energy into a dynamic that provides little in return and leaves you feeling unfulfilled. The universe may be offering you an opportunity to instead open your life to relationships with others who can offer the genuine care, intimacy, and solidarity that your soul requires to thrive.